Good morning, students. Welcome to the Google class on Module 4. The subject is Cryptography, Network Security and Cyber. Teachers are Paniramaprasad and Mr. AzharBaig. In today's class, we will try to understand about the viruses and worms. Virus stands for Vital Information Resource under the SEAS. The definition you can understand like this. Virus is a malware attached to another program, such as a document, which can replicate and spread after an initial execution on the target system. Worm is a standalone malware computer program that replicates itself in order to spread to the other computers. Next slide. Virus definition. A computer virus is a program that can copy itself and infect a computer. Viruses latches itself to the executable file and it as a and a host to infect the other file. If once virus is infected to any computer, it can replicate itself and it causes the damage to the computer system. Example is if you have opened an email and a malicious code has been downloaded onto your computer which causes the computer to freeze. Next slide. Consider the basic viruses, Trojans, email virus, worms. These are the available things. With respect to times, you can able to understand. Virus means a program that can copy itself and infect the computer. What is a worm means? A worm spreads itself to the other computer. Trojan horses means a Trojan horse is a file that spreads harmless until executed. These are the different terminologies what you have available. Next slide, please. Virus characteristics. Need the four characteristics are there. You can understand like this. First one, need of host to residence. Virus needs a host of residence such an executable file, document, email, floppy disk, etc., so that it can be able to operate. Non-resident. It doesn't stay in memory after the host program is closed. This can only infect while the program is open. When it is file is executing, it is open, then only it is going to affect. Once the system is closed, it doesn't have any effect. Next, third one, sleuth. The ability to hide from the detection and repair in 2 days. Second one, virus redirects the disk reads to avoid the detection. Next, third one, disk the directory data is altered to hide the addition bytes of the virus. This is called as sleuth. It is called. Next, fourth one, capable of self-replicating. When virus infected program is run, the virus code is executed first. One of the first tasks of the virus is to seek the other program which is not yet infected and then pass on the infection to the one or more of them, so that all the systems of the present in the computer system may get affected. A truly malicious virus may then perform actions such as detecting the certain files. Executing on the virus code is usually followed by the execution of the host original program. Next slide, please. Fifth one, all the virus code need to be located at the start of the infected file. In some cases, code is preponed and appended to the host file. Sixth one, virus code should be split into segments and introspected throughout the infected file using the jump statement at the end of each virus segment. Seventh point, in each case, the size of the infected program is larger than the original host program. This helps the antivirus software to detect the code. Always the virus infected program will be larger than the original file. Next, eighth one, to evade detection. Some viruses modify the file service interrupt handler that returns the attributes to the files. By doing so, the service handler may be programmed to return the unaffected layers of the file. Another technique to use the compression so that the length of an infected file remains the same as the length of its original version. The virus writer includes a compression routine in its original code to infect another file. The virus compresses the file and the repair and the pretend the virus code to the compressor file. The infected file has to be uncompressed prior to the execution. Next, ninth point, system calls. System calls are used by the application program to request the service of the operating system. They are made to read or write the files, swap the new program, establish TCP connection. Some viruses makes the call to copy their own code to the other files, create or modify the entries in the Windows regularly, or search for the email. Next slide, please. Types of viruses. There are five types we're going to consider. First one is called as polymorphic virus. This virus changes their characteristics as they infect a computer. Second one, stealth virus. Stealth virus actively try to hide themselves from the antivirus and system software. Third one, fast and slow infector. Fast and slow virus infect a computer in a particular way to try being detected by antivirus software. A spare virus. A spare virus infector doesn't infect very often. Fifth one, armor virus. Armored virus are the programmed to eradication the difficulties. Next slide, please. Types of computer virus with respect to different names are taken able to. It may be email virus, Tarzan, horses, worms, polymorphic virus, multi-party virus, web scripting virus, dictionary virus, direct action virus, etc. These are some of the types of viruses commonly we will going to understand. Next slide, please. Worm. A computer worm is a program that copies itself from one computer to another. Different form of viruses. Viruses spread. The viruses depends on other programs. Worms, worms are usually standalone applications. Viruses usually trick people into propagating them. Worms can hack into vulnerable systems and spread without depending on the others. These are some of the differences between the viruses and worms. Next slide, please. Worms, as a definition, program that can replicate themselves and send copies from computer to computer in a network connection. In addition to propagation, the worm usually perform some unwanted work, actively see out more machines to infect, and each machine that is infected serves as an automated launching pad for attack on the other machines. A network worm exhibit the same characteristics as a computer virus, may attempt to determine if a system has previously been infected before copying itself. A worm is a standalone program. Next slide. Worm characteristics, classes and features. Worms are most commonly classified according to their vector or propagation. The main categories include the internet scanning worms, email worms, P2P worms, web worms, and mobile worms. Well, next slide, please. Consider the types of worms. First one, internet scanning worms, which will scan all the available network resources using the local operating system services and scan the internet for vulnerable machines. If computer is found vulnerable, it will attempt to connect and gain access to them. Second one, email worms. Email worms spread through the infected email message as an attachment or a link of infected website. Next slide, please. Types of worms. P2P worms is a type of worm that takes the advantage of machines of peer-to-peer network to distribute a copy of itself to unsuspecting P2P users. Fourth one, web worm is a malicious self-replicating a software program for establishing an encrypted link between the web server and the browser. Next, last one, fifth one, mobile worm is an electronic virus that targets the mobile phones or wireless devices like PDA, smartphone, tablets, etc. Next slide, please. So, different types of the malware, the year of unleashed, which came into existence, types of malware, and the claim to fame. The different types which are popular, we'll try to understand here. First one is Code Red. It came into existence in July 2001. It is an internet scanning type of malware. First one that spread rapidly, causing billions of dollars in the damage. Next one, NIMDA. It came into existence September 2001. The types of malware is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, email, file sharing. What it's claiming is one of the first one to use the multiples of vectors of propagation. Next one is Slammer. It came into existence January 2003. Internet scanning type. First internet scanning worm to spread through the UDP, not the TCP. So big. I came into existence in August 2003. With respect to email malware, it is worm updated itself at a specific point in time. The updated code was obtained from the specific URL. Next slide, please. VT, which came into existence in the year March 2004. It is internet scanning type of virus, one of the first one to carry a destructive payload which wiped out a part of its victim's disk. It attacks the hard disk part of the victim. Next, Caber, which came into existence in June 2004. It is with respect to Bluetooth wireless, it can be affected. One of the first one to target the cell phones. Next, Santi. It came into existence December 2004. It is a web-based malware. One of the first one to use the web search engine to locate the new targets. Comwar, March 2005. It is with respect to Bluetooth, one of the first mobile one to use the two vector of propagation. Next slide, please. SAMI came into existence in October 2005. It is web-based. In 24 hours, infected over 1 million users in profile on MySpace, a social network site. Storm in January 2007. With respect to bot or email malware, multiple infection stages. URL for secondary infection communicated via encrypted link in a P2P network. Next, uh, Configure is September 2008. It is a bot type or USB drive, etc. malware, a dynamically generated URL for the code updates. These are the different types of worms which came into existence. Next slide, please. Enhanced targeting and enhanced space. How does a worm know whom to target next? The many target selection have been proposed and implemented. Worms that spread through the email just have to look into the victim's email box to find a set of targets. Mobile worms look into the phone book to the host to find the phone number of the victims. Web worms use the search engines to harvest URLs of potentially vulnerable targets. Internet scanning worms scan the IP address for vulnerable machines. Random scanning, choosing the IP address at random. This was adopted by the code reversion 1 and code red version 2. Enhanced speed. To enhance the infection speed, some worms are designed to spam the multi-threaded. Each thread is responsible for setting up a connection to the different subset of hosts, thus increasing the rate at which the infection is spread. Some worms reside infections latency by targeting a buffer overflow vulnerability on a application that employs UDP rather than the TCP. The attacker creates an or one or more hit list, creating addresses of several thousand vulnerable machines, and this list will be used by the worm infect machines. Next slide, please. Enhanced capabilities. Most worms have a unique and distinct signature, a pattern, bits, usually assembly language code, which appear in all instances of worms. Encryption can be used for disguising the worm code. Polymorphic. Different instance worms uses that use the different keys for encryption. These worms fail to match any existing worm signatures. These worms have to be decrypted before being executed, and in the clear decryptor routine is used. Another technique to distinguish malware is the creation of several code versions. Tricks to create multi-line code versions. Use of dummy instruction. Use of extensions operands. Changing the flow of control without disturbing the existing logic. Metamorphic worms that have multiple such versions with or without relying on the encryption method. Next slide, please. So this is the assembly language code, right, which represents the code to be executed. The original version 1 and version 2 type it is represented here, which indicates with respect to the how the code is going to be affected, how when the code is going to be infected with respect to the worms. Next slide, please. Enhance the destructive power. The analyst predicts the cost of loss based on the last opportunity, clean up the cost and system downtime, which affect the business and the revenues. Next one, fast spreading worms caused several network congestions, problems disturbing normal internet traffic and contributing to the system downtime. Next slide, please. Difference between viruses and worms. Virus attacks attaches itself to OS or the programs. Worms do not attach itself to OS. Need user action to abet their propagation. Self-propagating across a network, exploiting the security in widely used services. Viruses. Damages caused is mostly local to the machines. It harms the network and consumes the network bandwidth. That is worms. Next, virus. The spread quite slowly. Worms means spread much more rapidly. These are some of the differences between viruses and the worms. They now consider with respect to computer worms, viruses and trojans. Virus means it can self-replicate. They do not need to attach themselves with existing program. That is with respect to worms. When I consider the viruses can replicate itself and they can attach themselves with the existing program, then only they will be active. Next, Tarzan horses means cannot self replicate and use the social engineering techniques to spread, such as it may be with respect to your Facebook or any other medium, they can able to spread. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. With this, we come to the end of this class. Students, if you have any queries, please put in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you for listening.